What's up, everybody? Welcome to Metal Remains Backstage. I am Carlos in New York City, and today with me is Alizon and Ben from the band Calva Louise.
Hi, Carlos.
Hi. Well, thank you for making time for us today. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, doing great.
Yeah.
Super excited about the album coming out.
Yeah.
We've been like preparing this all day. We've got some new merch, new things coming out, so we've been preparing everything for the release. But yeah, doing great.
All right, awesome to hear that. Album is coming out in 1 day from now. By the time this interview is released, it's going to be already out. So I hope everybody is listening to that. We would like to start the conversation by asking, what have you been listening to lately, besides your own music, of course?
Oh, that's a good question.
That is a good question.
Well, lately, actually, we've discovered a couple bands from France. One called Grandma's Ashes. Jess actually showed it to me, and it's really nice, super cool, like Queen of the Stone Age vibe, super cool melodies and riff. And then there's another band from France called Imparfait, which, they're really cool. So we've been listening to that. That's the latest to discovery, I'd say, from the last couple weeks. What about you?
So I've been listening to a lot of Ghost recently.
Okay.
Actually, I asked you the other day what your favorite Ghost record was, because I've been listening to Prequel. I think that's how you say that.
Nice.
That's it's great. They're really, really cool, and it goes to a band that I never really gave the time to until now, and and now I'm listening to it, I'm really getting into it, and it's it's like I'm finally getting it. It's the same story with Radiohead for me. It took me so long. But when I finally got it, it was great,
Awesome. Yeah, and Ghost is on tour right now. So if you had a chance to go see them live, well, you can do that as well. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. We are here to talk about your latest album, but before that, I would like to take a moment for you guys to talk about the fascinating story behind the formation of the band. What can you tell us about that?
Right. Yeah. Well, it's kind of because we're all from different continents originally, right? So Jess grew up in Venezuela, and then she started making music. And then she moved to France when she was 16. She wanted to get closer to England, and she wanted to have a musical career. And her dad's French, so France was like the closest thing, while she was still finishing school. And she ended up in my school in Normandy, in the north of France. That's how we met. And then, straight away we connected because she was like the first person I met that was as dedicated as I wanted to be to the music, or like making music, the life. And she told me all about her project, and I got it. She wanted to go to England, and I was like, well, let's do it. So we moved to London with nothing, no money, nothing, no contact. We didn't know anybody in England. I couldn't speak English even. It was crazy. And then we met Ben in London after doing like loads of rounds of open mics and playing around small bars and things.
So these guys, they came to London, and at first you were doing trips to London before moving fully, and playing random open mics, just any gig you could get, right?
Pretty much.
And then I was playing in a different band at the time, and our two bands ended up sharing a stage, playing the same night. And that's how we met, in the Underbelly. It was a venue called the Underbelly in Hoxton in London. And and then from there, eventually we that night we exchanged contact information, and then Jess called me one day and she was like, we need some drums doing for some demos, and like we don't have a drummer at the moment, so like, yeah, can you help? So I did, learned the songs, and then one thing led to another, and then the rest is history.
Yeah, and here we are now.
Here we are.
Awesome.
Sorry, I'm just gonna call a 2-second break. I need to blow my nose because anyway, good to go.
Yeah, continue.
All right. No problem. For the audience that is not familiar with the band at all, what will be the proper way to introduce them to your craft?
That's a good question. I would say personally, I think the videos are a great way into the world of Calva Louise, because the band is not just a music project, it's a multidisciplinary project. It covers, so there's a whole storyline and lore and characters behind the music and the visuals. And so the videos are maybe the best way to get introduced to that story, because it's like, it's visual, people can identify the characters. And like with this album, we've managed to like have recurring characters, and some of the videos, well, most videos are like direct continuation of one another, so you can follow along. And so I'd say the video is a great way into the band, because this way you get like the experience of the full thing,
spectrum of Calva Louise.
yeah, people can have like an idea of this universe created by you guys.
Yeah, exactly. And it's worth mentioning that all the videos are completely DIY. So Jess writes the story and she directs the videos, and then she also makes all the VFX. So all the CGI stuff you see, it's
That's a
all
lot of
just
work.
done by Jess. Yeah, it's crazy. She's just got a computer upstairs, and then she just works on it for weeks, for months.
That's a full-time job on its own.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, she like just started learning it, 2-3 years ago, and it's just it's crazy the amount of work it takes. But yeah, those videos are a completely DIY endeavor. So and it's just us shooting with our friends. There's no like professional or anything. So we just do everything DIY. So I think it's good to mention it.
Well, let me tell you, they do look professional. Very, very high end. Yeah.
Thank you.
Now, Age of the Abyss is the fourth and most recent offering from the band. We have listened to it. My friend Manuel has been listening to the album on repeat. I have been listening to it as well, thanks to Mascot Records, because they provide us the promo. And we love it. We are thrilled by its eclectic approach and fresh energy. What does this album represent in your story as an artist so far?
I mean, that's a good question. I mean, as an artist, I feel like as artists, well, so that every record we've done is a retelling of the same story, but in a slightly different way. So I think this record is just the most current and accurate and clear iteration of that representation and the story. I think that's
and I think kind of like artistically, it's probably the closest to what we've always aimed at, like the music to be. The first record was very different. Second record was very different as well. Things started to consolidate with the mixtape, over the thresholds, and then I feel like this record is more than ever what the music was always meant to sound like.
To be,
yeah. So Jess also, won't need mentioning, but Jess writes the songs and the music, and then we take the session and the project and we just add our parts, the bass and drums and
bits to it.
But yeah, I feel like that's definitely the closest that we've achieved in terms of sound, at least.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
to what we've always wanted to be.
So, would you say that will you say you have found like your sweet spot as far as the way you want it to sound?
I mean, yeah, it's definitely the closest to what we've always wanted with this release. And with any release, there's always things that, you listen back and you're like, oh, we could have done that, could have done this, whatever. But there's a point where you have to let the artwork sit and release it. And I think, yeah, I'm sure in future we will get even closer to.
I mean, yeah, we've already got ideas of how we should do things a bit different next time, and things. But it's always a pursuit. You never get to the perfection. You just kind of chase it.
Right.
But it's definitely like an album that we're
awesome.
Happy with.
Awesome. Many, as you were saying, many songs have recurring themes and melodies throughout them. Why is it important to you that the compositions echo on each other?
I mean, that would probably be a question for Jess more than us, but
yeah, I think so in my mind, the repeated melodies and motifs and things like that represent different character themes or recurring moments or flashbacks or things happening at the same time across the different worlds that exist within our story. That's my interpretation of it. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what Jess thinks, actually.
I kind of agree with that. I feel like it goes with the whole fact that there's an underlying story along the album, along the music, and so having recurring themes or recurring sounds and things it recalls that story of there's characters coming back and loads of stuff happen to them, and they go through different worlds, different time periods. So yeah, I feel like it almost sometimes is reminiscent of the film score in a way.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you were talking about the music videos before, and let me tell you, they are very engaging. And after knowing that Jess is in charge of producing and doing the edits and the effects and everything, that even make them more stunning. Which one so far has been the most challenging to produce?
Of the videos?
I think there's maybe a couple of different answers to that. I would say in terms of visual effects, probably Under the Skin was the most... I mean, I could be wrong. Again, I'd have to ask Jess about it. But because Under the Skin was the last one that we've filmed all on green screen. And so Jess had to do everything from scratch, taking the footage that was on the green screen and just kind of creating everything around it. So that was definitely a huge amount of work. And then in terms of actual shoot.
Yeah, impeccable. There was a lot of prop preparation for that, wasn't there? That was quite intense.
Yeah, there was. Also, we had loads of extras for the show. The show scene, and that turned out to be not hard, but it was definitely a bit of a challenge to manage. And you have to account for everybody having to move around 50 people.
Yeah, direct them, organize them, and stuff.
And then maybe also the song, the video that comes out with the album tomorrow, Tunnel Vision. That was maybe the most kind of ambitious in terms of narrative. So we actually took 3 days, whereas the other videos it was more like 2 days usually. And we took 3 days to have the time to actually film, scenes where there's dialogue and there's a real story going, and you're trying to make it coherent and understandable straight away.
Right.
So that was also a bit of a challenge to plan everything.
Yeah.
Ahead.
Plus, there was a lot of well, you'll see it when it comes out, but the video that's released tomorrow, for Tunnel Vision, there's a lot of car shots on it. So there was quite a lot of logistics stuff around that. Like even with the system that mounts the camera to the car, and like the whole rental of that, making sure that there's no other things happening on the roads, there's just a lot of things you don't necessarily think about until you're faced with having to do it.
And then there's one more thing, actually. I think for Aimless, which is already out, which looks like a more simple video, but because it's just us in a room, but basically Jess created all these crazy things where the room catches on fire. There's like, there's there's rain, there's tornado, there's loads of stuff going on.
Yeah.
So that was actually really challenging, and also because she had to finish it while we were on tour with Bloodywood. In March. Okay. So I built like a big file case for the PC, for the workstation. She could take it with her on tour, and so every day we had to bring it into the venue, set up the computer in the green room, and then she would work on it in between soundcheck and stage time, and then on a day she would work on it in the hotel. It was crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's even more pressure to the tour itself. Yeah, we'd like to ask questions about videos because almost with every band, when we talk about videos, there's always a story that came out of one of the videos. There's always suffering. There's always people not sleeping, or it's too cold, or it's too hot. There is always something going on when videos are shot.
Yes, videos are probably like the most physically demanding part.
Yeah,
right.
Because it always,
and it's often not actually the shoot day. It's the run up to the shoot day, getting everything ready. That's
the shoot day is also pretty.
I would say the run up's more intense than the shoot days, but I mean the shoot days are intense as well. And I think it's always, the shoot days are intense because you're riding off the back of
2 weeks.
A week of preparation and just rushing around and
right.
And
it's also like, I feel like shoot days are also stressful because you need to get the material in.
You're on the clock,
film everything you need.
You've got that time and you have to do it.
And especially when you're doing narrative stuff. You need everything, because if you miss something, then it just doesn't make sense anymore.
Yeah, it has to be coherent. Yeah.
So it has to. You have to get all the scenes, all the shot for all the scenes, all the angles for the dialogue. It's very easy to miss a shot. That's
why shot lists are important.
And then we don't have any budget, so we can't afford to just bring everyone back, for an extra day. The time we have is all we got. So it's always quite intense.
Right. Yeah. Now, changing topics a little bit, during the month of September of 2025, later this year, you guys will be touring the U.S. from coast to coast, starting in California and ending in Illinois. Of course, you're going to be here in New York City, in Brooklyn, in September 23rd, if I am not mistaken. What are your expectations from this upcoming tour?
It's a good question. Well, the album will have been out for a while, so we hope that people who have listened, our fans who we already have, will have received the album well, and come to the show and just have the best time of their lives. That's it really.
We really love touring. Yeah,
bring their friends as well.
Bring everybody.
Yeah.
No, we're super excited. We love touring in the US. Such a nice place, and everybody's so excited. It's cool because we come from overseas, And I feel like everywhere we go, people are very appreciative of the fact that we come all the way, you know. But it's always a pleasure every time. And people travel so far in the US to come to the shows. It's crazy.
Yeah, they'll drive like 6 hours.
They'll drive
different states to see.
They'll fly. Or like last year, we had some people come from Canada, some come from Hawaii. It was like to the show.
That's
you know,
crazy.
It's really touching to see that. You know, there's some people actually. You know, it's important enough for them to like come and share that moment with us.
Another thing is that like because Jess writes a lot of the songs in Spanish or half English, half Spanish, and there is a bigger demographic for that in the US than there is here in the UK. So
I myself, I speak Spanish, and I those lyrics in Spanish, it's what resonates with me and make the connection. And I love how some songs are entirely in English, some others are entirely in Spanish, and some other songs are a mix of both. So I was I was wondering if that makes like a challenge when you are like in a concert in UK or in a country where supposedly no one speaks Spanish.
Well, we have the ability to change our set list depending on where we are. So there's a few songs which we'll play in the US, which we won't play in the UK, or we haven't played in the UK.
I see.
You know,
it depends on the events.
It's we're flexible on that, but for the US tour, we'll definitely throw in a couple of extra songs.
Yeah, especially on California or here in New York or
that's true.
There's a huge population that speaks Spanish.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, so our headline in Los Angeles last year, it was crazy. I mean, you know, most of the room spoke Spanish. And you know, it's so nice to see you know, an audience connecting to that part of the music as well, because we're not used to it. And people here, I would say people appreciate the Spanish for sure. Like, you know, they're not close to it. But it just hits different when you see that, you know, people are actually, you know, connecting to the lyrics.
Right.
And that's really.
And I feel like for a non-Spanish speaker, it's more difficult to resonate in the same way that you do. So, you know, I think it's great to be able to just have that option to bring those songs out to those
I'm
people.
sure that if one day in the future you have the opportunity to go to any country in Latin America, you will, I don't know, make even a greater connection with the Latin American fans, because I'm sure in Mexico, if you go anywhere in Mexico, people will go there and go crazy. And then if you start going to Central America or South America, I'm sure people already know the band and they will be extremely happy to have the opportunity to witness the band live. Any plans for, I don't know, any gig or any mini tour or tour in Latin America?
We're like, you know, we're up for it. We haven't had the opportunity yet to organize something, but yeah, like it'll happen.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll happen.
I will say start aiming to Mexico, and if you made it to Mexico, then that market will get wide open for you in Latin America. All right. Now, I would like to wrap up this chat by asking you, what is one of your favorite backstage stories?
Do you want to tell it, or should I tell it?
I'll go for it.
All right, cool. So we were on a tour throughout Europe with Heidi. Was it Heidi? Yeah, Highly Suspect. And we one show we forgot some of our merch. We left it at the venue, and we left without it. And Martin, the tour manager for Highly Suspect, who we were supporting, he saw it and picked it up And then the following day or the following night at the venue, we were preparing to play, and we'd finished sound check, and I saw one of our records just sit leaning against the wall, just down on the floor against the wall, and I was like, in the venue backstage, and I thought what's that doing there? So I went and picked it up, and I was like, okay, who's maybe someone's taken it and just left it there, whatever. And then I saw another one, just a bit further up, same thing, against the wall. And I was like, okay. So I went and grabbed that. And then I saw a trail, and I had to go and follow the trail of vinyls. And the trail led round to the back, right at the backstage where the bus was parked. And it was like a candy trail to our open box of merch with all the vinyls on display. And what had happened is Martin had laid them out for us as a lesson not to forget your merch.
I see.
He was just standing there rookies.
That was fun.
Yeah, it was funny. But yeah, it was a fun way of teaching a lesson, and it was great. And we've never forgotten merch since.
Oh, it worked. All right.
Yeah, it was great.
Great. Thank you for sharing that moment with us. If you like this interview, please like it, share it with your friends, support Calva Louise by buying and streaming their music. Go see them live when they come to a city near you. See you next time, but until then, stay metal.